Hello, friends. A warm welcome to the learning platform Claim IAS. Today, I'm here with a new Western thinkers that is John Locke. So let us begin with the introductions and also I will relate Thomas Hobbes' views of idea and John Locke. So the first statement is John Locke was born in Britain. So here, friends, John Locke was born in Britain, and the experience of Hobbes and Locke is completely different, friends. So in the previous lectures, we have learned that Hobbes has seen an unstable phase of Britain, right? Peoples were fighting, conflict were happening between the Catholic versus Protestant, Royalist versus anti-Royalist. So the unstable phase of Britain was seen by Thomas Hobbes, but whereas John Locke have seen the glorious revolutions of 1688. In the Glorious Revolutions, Locke observed that monarchy gave its power to parliament without any conflict, and people of Britain have participated peacefully in the parliament process. And the third statement is from the Glorious Revolutions, Locke had developed optimistic views of human natures. So, friends, one thing you should always remember that already we have seen in the Hobbes friends. So, Hobbes' views was quite different. His views was pessimistic, right? Whereas Locke views was optimistic. Why? Because the observation of situations were different. As we know, friends, in the Hobbes the situation was chaos, unstable. So the way of seeing the things, the way of observing might be different. So Thomas Hobbes gave some different opinion on that, on human nature, on social contract, on state of natures. But whereas if you see John Locke have gave optimistic views on human nature. Why? Because here John Locke have seen the stable phase of Britain, the peaceful situation of Britain. So he will have optimistic view on human natures, whereas Hobbes have seen the chaos situations, unstable situation of Britain. So he will have pessimistic approach towards the human natures, towards the state of nature, towards social contract, right? So on the observation of glorious revolutions, Locke developed optimistic view on human nature. And the next statement is the main concern of Locke is create a limited state to preserve the rights of life, liberty, property given to a man by the nature. So here, friends, the main concern of Locke is to create a limited state. Here, limited state means it means there should be less restrictions on the people, and people should have basic right to preserve the right to life, liberty, or property. But here, friends, we have seen in the time of Thomas Hobbes that the primary concern of Hobbes was to give the absolute power to state and take back all of our rights and give state all of our right except the right to life. But here, if we see, the main concern of Locke was to create a limited state, right? And people should have the basic right to preserve the right to life, liberty, and property. So here, friends, Locke supports possessive individualism, right? So now we will understand what is possessive individualism. So possessive individualism means whatever man possesses is solely due to his own efforts, no role of society. So there is a not mandatory to pay back to the society. So here, whatever man has accumulated the wealth, he have accumulated on his own effort, right? If people is interested to give back to society, he can give, but state cannot force to give back to the society. So here, Locke says state is like a watchman. State should just take care of individuals' property and not to interfere in the right to life, liberty, or property. So, friends, John Locke is known as thinkers of possessive individualism. So now let us understand with proper reasons why Locke is known as thinkers of possessive individualism. So the first statement is, according to Locke, there should be absolute right to life, liberty, or property. So as we have discussed before that the main concern of Locke was right to life, liberty, and property. And Locke also talks on labor and property. So here, friends, let us take an example with regard to Locke to understand the view of Locke on labor and property. So here, friends, there is a person A, right? There is a person A and person B. Person A owns a land, is the owner of the land, and person B works in the person A land. Okay, so basically, person B is the farmer who is working in the field of person A. So here, what Locke will say? Locke says that there is a person working in a but here, friends, basically, there is a farmer working in your land, okay? So here you will give some share of your crop to the farmers and rest is your. Means if you have the land ownership, you will keep most of the share with you, right? But whatever the effort the person B has made, according to his effort only you will give, right? So in easy terms, person A who owns the land will keep almost 80% of the total wealth, right? And 20% will be given to the farmer who is working under A. That is what Locke says here. Locke argued that when you mix your labor with nature's, like farming land or making something, the product becomes your property. For example, if you plant a tree and care for it, the fruits of that tree are yours, right? That is what I have explained you, right? This idea ties property to individual effort and sees ownership as natural rights. So here, friends, he says property belongs to individuals because he has done hard work to get those property back, right? So one who have done effort to get those property, to accumulate those property, the property must belong to those persons, right? So now let us move to the work of Locke. So here friends, Locke wrote the book, means he wrote the book of treatise of government. So the book two treatises consist of two parts. In the first part, he criticizes Filmer for his book Patriarcha, and the second part of Patriarcha deals with the formation of civil government. As you can see here, the first part he criticizes Filmer for his book Patriarcha. We will all understand here why he criticized Filmer. And second part is Patriarcha deals with the formation of civilian government. So here, friends, we will try to understand both of their debates. Means if here Robert Filmer is writing something in his book Patriarcha, how John Locke is criticizing towards that. We will understand each and everything briefly here. So here, as you can see in the statement, Adams here refers to the first human created by God as described in the Bible. So here friends, Robert Filmer says Adams was the first human created by God, or Adam is a representative of God as described in the Bible. That is what Robert Filmer says in his book Patriarcha. But now, if you see, now Locke argues and says here there is no evidence in the Bible that there is Adams has such power. So now John Locke says that there is no proper evidence that Adams is the representative of God or Adams is the first person created by God. There is no such evidence in the Bible. And the second, if you see, friends, Sir Robert Filmer in his book Patriarcha claimed that Adams was given the authority to rule. Means he was giving the authority to rule by the God. So now here John Locke criticizes and says if Adam has authority, we cannot justify the current generation of Adams. So Locke says we can't prove that which king has the today his heredity or the generations. It means it's difficult to find the current generation of Adams because Adams was born at the millions of years ago, but in the current situation, who is his generations or who is heredity of Adams, it is difficult and it is impossible to find that. So he argues and criticizes the Robert Filmer for his book Patriarcha. And the third statement, if you see, friends, here here, Filmer argued that this authority was passed down to the kings, making them rulers by the divine rights because they were supposedly by the Adams here. So in the last statement here, he says, all peoples are born equals. No one has the natural rights to rule over the others. So that is what he says. He believes in the equality and he says that every small children are born with nothing. Means here, such rights should not be given to the children or when they become elders means no one should rule others, everyone have their own freedoms. So here we end up with these introductions. I hope you enjoy watching our videos. So our next topic will be on Locke views on human nature and state of natures. So if you find it as helpful, do like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.